Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, July 30th. I'm Gina Barty.
And I'm Patricia Valone. Thank you for joining us tonight. While the trial of a former MetroAccess driver accused of assault continues today, prosecutors say the suspect sexually assaulted one of his passengers. But today, the defendant took the stand telling a different story. CTV's Stephen Graves is at the courthouse with more.
Today, the defendant took the stand telling his side of the story, sternly claiming he would never, ever commit the crimes that he's being accused of, which happened on that April day in 2013. Now, according to police reports, as a reporter, a former MetroAccess driver pulled over his work vehicle in Bowie and allegedly proceeded to sexually assault a female passenger. Now, according to the victim, Porter threatened to hurt her if she didn't pull down her pants. But today in the court, the defendant took the stand claiming the reason he pulled over was because of a GPS malfunction he needed to fix. Now, the prosecution questioned Porter today, pointing out that he did not report the malfunctioning equipment until 2 days later when he was interviewed by detectives. Now, there was much more evidence presented today, including a DNA test, which actually did not link Porter and the victim together. The defense also asked for the acquittal of the first and third degree sex offense, but the judge ended up denying that motion. In Upper Marlboro, Stephen Graves, CTV News.
And closing arguments are expected to begin tomorrow.
An 18-year-old woman is shot early this morning in Wheaton, and police say the suspect could be as young as 13 years old. The incident happened around 5:30 a.m. while two groups of boys and girls were hanging out in the intersection of Pliers Mill Road and St. Margaret Avenue. Police say the shooter stood over the victim's body, shot her several times, and ran. She was taken to a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Some residents in the area say many younger people have been causing noise in the area this summer. Officials say there is a known association between the suspect and the victim. Meantime, a man dies of a single vehicle accident this morning. Officials say around 11 o'clock, the motorist was traveling southbound on Branch Avenue and Auth Road when he was ejected from the motorcycle. The driver was pronounced dead on the scene. Officials are still investigating the cause of the accident. The bridge was shut down for several hours following the incident. It has now been reopened. New information on the carjacking that ended with a SUV inside a McDonald's drive-thru window on Annapolis Road yesterday. Police say the suspect, now identified as 21-year-old Dominique Harrison, may suffer from mental illness. Yesterday morning, Harrison allegedly approached a driver at a red traffic light and asked him for a ride. When the man declined, Harrison implied he had a weapon. The victim then jumped out the vehicle and ran. Police say Harrison took the vehicle and, after striking several cars, finally crashed into a McDonald's drive-thru. Harrison remains in police custody. He faces multiple charges.
Maryland's Natural Resources Police launch an enforcement campaign in an effort to reduce crabbing violations in state waters. Rochelle Metzger has more from Jonas Green Park in Annapolis, where officials made the announcement.
If you've bought crabs this summer, you may have noticed that prices are high, but sizes are low. Well, state officials say their most recent survey of crabs in the Chesapeake Bay has them on high alert, and they're launching an aggressive campaign to protect the current population. Their message today: don't get pinched for crabbing violations. Thomas Thompson's noticed the skyrocketing cost of seemingly shrinking crabs.
I think they call number twos maybe, but they'll go for like $25 to $35 a dozen. It's not right to me.
The recreational fisherman has come to Jonas Green Park in Annapolis with his wife and grandson to catch whatever's biting. Thompson says sometimes he goes crabbing too.
I would say maybe 3-4 times a season.
When he goes, he can expect to see Maryland Natural Resources Police out on the water in full force, cracking down on recreational and commercial crabbers who violate state regulations. The agency's Don't Get Pinched campaign will focus on harvest hours, catch limits, and size minimums.
We're going to do undercover operations, night vision, once again saturation patrols, and the use of our M-line.
That's the agency's maritime network of cameras and radars along the Chesapeake Bay. If caught, expect to get a citation that could cost you up to $500. Department of Natural Resources Deputy Director Lynn Fagley says the conservation effort comes after the winter dredge survey, which revealed approximately 69 million mature female crabs. That's 1 million below minimum safe levels. It also shows a sizable decline in adult crabs.
We estimate in the Maryland part of Chesapeake Bay last year, we lost between 20 and 30% of our adult crabs.
Fagley says the state's crab population has been dealt a double whammy.
We started with a low number of babies coming in because of environmental factors, and then that same year class was subject to high winter mortality.
Officials say playing by the rules will help grow the next generation. And if that means paying less, crab lovers like Thompson are all for it.
And hoping that it do come back down. Right now, they're not affordable.
Now, there is some good news to report. State officials say the number of young crabs is actually up from 2013's record low. Their focus is the females, which spawned the next generation of crabs, which could be hitting your dinner table next summer. In Annapolis, I'm Rochelle Metzger, CTV News.
And Natural Resources Police say everyone should know the state's crabbing laws and follow them. The department is also asking that you report violations as soon as you see them. The number to call is 1-800-628-9944. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Gina Barty. Coming